higher than high. Pressure's building up, sparks are gonna fly. I know where this is going when I look into your eyes. I know where this is going when I look into your eyes. Sweet sweat's rolling down the middle of your spine. Bodies move together, perfect rhythm and time. Baby, say my name, I'll ride yours in the sky. Higher than a rocket on the 4th of July. Higher than a rocket on the 4th of July. It's good, it's good, it's good to be alive. It's a full-time job, the work's never done. 24/7, it's a labor of love. Yeah, everything I got, it's all about us. Baby, this ain't working, it's a labor of love. Baby, this ain't working, it's a labor of love. Only fools count treasure and silver and gold. I don't want for nothing that these hands can't hold. If you need something done, put it on the list. And if I need some sugar, I'll get it from your lips. If I need some sugar, I'll get it from your lips. It's good, it's good, it's good to be alive. It's a full-time job, the work's never done. 24/7, it's a labor of love. Yeah, everything I got, it's all about us. Baby, this ain't working, it's a labor of love. Baby, this ain't working, it's a labor of love. The taste of your lips, every night, every day. I know every curve, but it's never the same. If love is a fire, I go down in those flames. Wanna die in your arms, hearing you say my name. Wanna die in your arms, hearing you say my name. Wanna die in your arms, hearing you say my name. It's a full-time job, the work's never done. 24/7, it's a labor of love. Yeah, everything I got, it's all about us. Baby, this ain't working, it's a labor of love. It's a full-time job, the work's never done. 24/7, it's a labor of love. Give everything I got, I can't get enough. Baby, this ain't working, it's a labor of love. Baby, this ain't working, it's a labor of love.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, expecting myself to laugh, but all I see is you It's a struggle within for me to escape reality. Now when the time has come, I'm begging you to stay strong and save the world. I really don't mind games. Save the world. Visions will still remain. Don't need to hear you cry. Then a piece of my heart will die. No matter how I try, I can see through it all. The mirror tells nothing but the truth. Now when the time has come, I'm begging you to stay strong and save the world. I really don't mind games. Save the world. Visions will still remain. I thought I knew it all. I thought I had it all. Save the world. I really don't mind games. Save the world. Visions they still remain. Save the world. I really don't mind games. Save the world. Visions will still remain.
What's up, guys? We're Day2, and this is another day of the ASL.
Man, yesterday we had a pretty sick upset in the round of 8. Bisu going down 0-3. Definitely one of the favorites of the tournament, one of the favorites to get to the finals against Flash. But now he is not there, so you got to look at this side now, and it's Best versus Hero tonight. One of the best Zergs in the world, and a Zerg versus Protoss specialist going up against one of the 6 dragons, the master of macro himself.
One
and
of
Best.
the dragons.
That's right. Will he be a dragon slayer tonight, Jesus?
We're going to find out. See if he can pull Excalibur from the stone. Actually, that's not in Dragon Slaying, is it?
Well, no, but
That's
I mean,
the Knights of Camelot, right?
you can mix this all up as much as you want
I
to.
can do whatever
so
I want.
Maybe he'll be Merlin tonight and cast a spell upon him. I don't know.
Maybe he'll be Magellan and make a map. No, I got nothing here, guys. Thank you for joining us here at the ASL. This has been a fantastic tournament so far. The original esport is on the rise again here in Korea.
Yeah, it's doing very, very well. Guys, help us spread the word. ASL and Brood War are coming back with a vengeance. ASL. You can't spell tassel without
That's
ASL.
right.
But yeah, it's like super fun. We have all the big names. I love the fact that each stage of the tournament eliminated the non-big names. Because people are always like, well, I don't know. This guy, Larva, is really good now. And it's like, yeah, no, he is really good.
Very good.
But is he a legend? No, he is not a legend.
A literal god tasteless?
No, he is not a literal god tasteless.
No, it's kind of cool because even though I think a lot of people would have wanted to see Bisou advance, you have to accept the nature of the competition, right? C was just better on that day, and he was the worthy player to move on.
And, I mean, he was a great player back in the day as well. He's playing fantastically at the moment, which is so fun to see. And hitting his second round of 4 in a row. You know, everyone else that hit the round of 4 last season when it was like right before all the legends hit their stride that we have now in the top 8, C was the only one to make it through from there. And he was really the only one that was known before the StarCraft 2 switch that kind of ruined the StarCraft 1 scene out here temporarily.
StarCraft 1 diaspora, people moving over.
It was very
StarCraft
diasporous.
2, yeah, absolutely. It was very diasporatic. No, but that was also, and then there was a whole phase where we had the Kessa players who were still playing StarCraft 1, and then they came over here. But now we're in a new phase with the ASL. By the way, this is like, it's going to sound crazy, but just hear me out. This is literally one of the biggest esports shows in the entire world. If you just look at our overall viewers, not just the English stream, we're like the smallest little slice of the pie in this case.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's so big out here in Korea.
Really feels like the old days again. This was one of the biggest sports, one of the biggest shows in all of Korea. Back when Tasis and I moved out here, and always much smaller to the English-speaking fans, but I don't know. Maybe that's because we're all dumb in the West, because this game is so badass.
Today's match is going to be a tough one to call here. Do you have a specific favorite, Ortosis?
Yeah, I do. I think Hero is going to end up taking it. Like, Best is a monstrous Protoss indeed, and he's playing pretty well so far in the tournament, but Hero is quite strong in Zerg vs. Protoss, to the point where I only felt like Bisou as a Protoss player was going to be able to take him out in this tournament. So I think he is going to be able to take down Best. I think it's going to probably be like a 3-1 or a 3-2.
It's funny, too, because we might end up with no Protosses in the Final Four. The Protosses were looking pretty strong here in ASL, but Zergs and Terrans that are still alive and with us right now are doing really well.
Looking at the round of 8 here, Bisou is the only favored Protoss, in my opinion, in that round of 8. So I think you're right, actually, that even though we had so many Protosses coming into this round, they are not going to possibly make it to the round of 4 at all.
So we might end up with about as balanced as you can get with 3 races in the Final 4. We might have one of each here.
It's possible.
What if we got more balance and we end up with a Zell Naga as the 4th person? We're like, thank you, David Kim.
Yeah.
We're going to get this interview translated for you guys.
안녕하세요, 서현지입니다. 지금부터 8강 2경기에 출전하는 두 주인공인 도재욱 선수와
So let's meet our two players in the round of 8. Match number 2. It's Best and Hero. Hello.
안녕하세요.
Hello. And the crowd goes wild.
긴장하신 거 아니죠? 네.
Are you nervous?
네, 도재욱 선수.
Sorry, I didn't know you said hi to me, so I didn't say hi back immediately.
선수를 두 번이나 이번 시즌이죠. 이번 시즌 두 번이나 꺾고
You defeated Jaedong twice this season
근데 오늘은
to advance to the round of 8.
저격수인 조일장 선수와 맞붙게 됐어요. 어떻게 준비 잘
You're
하셨나요?
facing Hero, who's really strong against Protoss.
준비는 잘했고.
How did you prepare?
준비한 대로만 하면은 뭐 잘할 수 있을
I prepared well for today's match.
자신감이 정말
I just plan on executing everything well tonight, and I should win.
또 프로토스에 유독 강하다는 평가를 받고 있잖아요. 아시나요?
You're obviously a very strong player against Protoss.
네.
네. 알고
Yes, I
있다.
네.
본인이 생각하는 도재욱 선수 어떤 프로토스일까요?
How do you? Sorry, what are your thoughts on your opponent?
센 토스라고 생각해요.
어.
다른 토스들보다도
I think he's a really strong player.
좀 세가지고
네.
가끔씩 깜짝깜짝 놀라고.
He's got solid macro game. and his production overall is just really good.
선수는 또 이런 말 드리면 좀 그런데 현역 시절에 저그전에 좀
He said his macro was good in like 3 ways right there.
그때와 요즘에
So Bess, you're supposedly weak against Zerg.
어떨까요?
Especially when you're in your prime.
그래도 저는
Have you improved your PVZ tip for tonight?
요즘에는 조금 저그전이 좀
I think I got better playing against
올라갔다고
Zergs.
생각을 해요, 개인적으로.
Overall, I've gained a lot of confidence recently.
자신이 있다.
그래서
And I've been winning a lot in my practice
할
matches.
수 있다. 자신감이 좋습니다. 반면 또 이제 거듭 말씀을 드리지만 프로토스에 정말 강하다고 평가를
Poor Broodor players in their ripped pants, man. Every single one of them.
These ones have paint on them. Both of them got paint on the
다른
shin.
선수들이 모르는 자신만의 어떤 노하우가 있다면 알려줄 수
So why are you
있을까요?
so strong against these Protoss players? What is your secret?
그냥 저는 보면서 상성대로 잘 맞춰가면은 된다고 생각을 하는데
네.
그냥 저거가 좀 유닛
I just know
상성에서
how to get the right
좋은 것
combination of
같아요,
units at the right time, basically.
쉽게 생각하고 쉽게 게임하는 편인 것 같아요.
좀 생각을
I think overall
차라리 어렵게
Zergs
하지 말고 쉽게
maybe have
해라.
an edge over Protoss
그리고
unit-wise.
이것도 좋은 팁인 것 같네요. 도적 선수는 또 이제 지난 시즌에 조이장 선수랑
Did he just complain about balance in an 18-year-old game?
이번에
So last season you played against Hero but lost.
자신 있으신가요?
Are you confident you can get your revenge this time?
토스전을 너무 잘해가지고 조금 부담되긴 하는데 그래도
The Hero is very strong against Protoss, so I do feel a lot of pressure.
경기력이 나쁘지가 않아서 잘
But I'm doing very well
한다면은
recently.
저번 시즌에 제가 탈락했지만 이번
If I
시즌
execute everything
있을
well
것
tonight, I think that the results will be different and I'll win.
조일장 선수는 또 이제 개인 방송을 통해 뭐 스폰 매치라든지 도적 선수랑 경기를 많이 해보셨을 것 같아요.
네.
오늘은 어떤 부분을
So you guys have played against each other on the
예정인가요?
Fish server on your private streams,
오늘
or personal streams rather.
연습을 하면서
You must know each other's playstyle well. Your thoughts?
모르겠어요. 좀 준비한 것들은 많이 있는데
오.
이거는 게임에서 보여드려야 되는 거니까
네.
Yes, I prepared a lot of builds
게임에서 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
specifically for Best, but I can't go into it too much because
두 선수 또 오늘
it would give it away. You'll see in my
각오랑
games.
또 덕담 한 마디씩 주고받아 볼까요? 먼저 도재욱 선수부터 해볼까요?
any final comments to your
저
opponent?
이번에 많은 분들이 제가 좀 질 것 같다는 예상을 많이 주셨는데 객관적으로 저도
A lot of people are expecting me to lose tonight.
그래도 뭐 충분히
If you look at the record, I understand why they think that, but
이번 해가 20대 마지막이기
I think I'm going to do better this
20대
time
마지막에
around.
불사지르고 싶네요.
네, 조일장 선수에게
I'm
한마디
29
하시면
right now.
일장아 너는
I want to get a
아직
championship
20대니까
before I get to 30.
다음 시즌에 더 잘하자.
정말 강력합니다. 조일장 선수
Says he's going to knock it out of the park
하나
tonight.
뭐 아직 이제 이제 마지막 20대의 마지막 시작인데 뭐 다음 시즌도 충분히 있다고 생각하니까 그 시즌
If
한번
you want to become a
노려보셨으면
champion,
이번에는 됐고
there's a lot of
이번엔
seasons
내가
left this
가겠다.
year.
네.
네,
But this
좋습니다.
season's my
오늘
time, not yours.
두 선수 정말 물량 대 물량 시원한 경기 기대해 보겠습니다. 감사합니다. 지금까지 조일장 선수와
And that
도재욱
does
선수
it,
만나봤습니다.
guys, I mean, I
그럼
love
두
that you
선수가
both want to win the
경기를
championship,
펼칠
but I'm
오늘의
so
진단을
sorry. Flash is in
화면으로
form right
확인해
now. Oh my.
I hate you, Artosis.
I hate you too,
I hate you
Jesus.
so much.
God.
All right, well, I'm going to put Artosis in timeout. We're going to show a quick little video of our players before we get this started. Artosis, you can go sit in the corner.
I guess we talk about the
Oh,
maps
no,
first.
we're going to talk about the map
Wow,
first.
great hosting skills, bro.
All right, I'm going to go to the
Jeez.
corner. I'm going to go stare at the wall.
Does anyone else think Tasteless just doesn't even know when the video's coming? Alright, it looks like the band was Benzene from Hero, and I have the Storm from Best. Circuit Breaker, I have the Storm, Benzene, Damien 2, and then of course finishing up on Circuit Breaker. What do you think? I was saying Hero like maybe a 3-2 or a 3-1. What do you think?
I think 3-1
For who?
for Hero. I think Hero wins.
So you don't think Best will 3-0 him just like we saw last night?
Well,
from
we could not have been more wrong. I guess everybody was quite wrong about what happened last night. Even if C1, I would not have guessed a 3-0. That was literally, in my view, the lowest possible or probable outcome. All right, guys.
Agreed.
This is attempt number 2. Let's look at a video.
Really brings back memories there, Tasteless.
That's right. It's kind of crazy when you get a game that's this old. It's kind of like when you can see, every year Smash Brothers gets a little bit older.
Yeah.
And it's like so cool to see, these different powerhouse players rise and fall and then rise again.
Yeah, it is quite interesting. But the one thing that's really different about StarCraft is we've had high-level esports production in this game since like the year 2000 or so.
Yeah, 2001.
Like we have film going back to then. It's like crazy. You can there's so much footage of these players playing. I mean, no one in this tournament was playing back that far, but the game has so much televised history. It's just like some of these highlight reels, man, bring tears to my eyes. You go on a little YouTube journey and look at some of these old videos. Oh my God,
it's crazy. And you see these guys like Best is now 29.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how old he was when he started his career, but obviously very young, in the teens,
Yeah.
And about to become 30. He's hoping to win this tournament before he gets to the age 30. But yeah, I mean, these guys are proving that you can be a pro gamer for your life if you want to. You can actually just pursue your passions.
Yeah, it is very true, and it's kind of this interesting thing because esports is still so young.
Right.
We are eventually going to hit a pro. I was actually talking about this a lot with TLO while we were at BlizzCon, where I'm like, eventually there is going to be a pro that doesn't quit. That just stays a pro, stays relevant, does a good job into their 50s or something. And that is going to be a very important moment for esports. And we do have some aged guys in StarCraft. Some Counter-Strike guys are definitely quite aged.
Sure, yeah.
That are still like top-tier guys.
I believe did Counter-Strike come out before Brood War?
I believe Counter-Strike technically came out before Brood War.
I think that's right. So, I mean, these are, two super old games.
Yeah, totally. Like, those are... Counter-Strike, StarCraft 1, and Quake are like the super OGs of and Street Fighter, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Super OGs of esports. It isn't an esport, it's the FGC. Shut up. Shut up. Oh my God. Nerds, man.
Nerds. All right, guys, we are about to go into game number 1. Now, this is a best of 5. A best versus hero. We are no longer doing the best of 1s in a best of 5. Just like in StarCraft 2, you have to know when to use the cheese, when to go for a macro game. Do you open up in game 1 with a different style to throw them off so that the information that they're getting and acquiring, they can't repackage that and use that in game, let's say 3 and 4 and 5, for instance.
Yeah, and game 1 is super important. It gives you that huge lead going forward. And don't forget, in Brood War tournaments, it's always been the case. Map 1 and Map 5 are the same. So
that's how we do it. All right, guys, let's get ready. This is game number 1 between our two players here, Best and Hero. Look, it says Moo Best.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a cow.
Or maybe he's the moobest of all.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Moobest. In the bottom right, in the green, we have our Protoss player, Best.
But isn't Hero a Protoss player? Protoss players?
What we need is more pro gamers with the name Hero. That's what we need. In the upper left, in the brown, is Hero.
Yeah. Not CJ Hero, not Liquid Hero.
That's right.
But Hero. All lowercase Hero. Thank God they all cap their names differently, or I'd lose it.
I think Hero and Rain, at least within the realm of RTS, are the two most overused
They're
IDs.
super overused.
You get like 7 different pro gamers around the world using the ID Rain. I don't see a single Snow.
Huh. No, there was a Snow in StarCraft 1. There was a Protoss player named Snow. Yep.
Really?
Yep. Good ID. Good ID.
Better than Rain, I'd say. Sleet, not a great ID.
Well, why Rain is so popular in Korea is because that was one of the most famous musicians was Rain.
Yeah.
So, just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
A lot of Rain fans.
What don't you know?
Tasteless, I've known everything since I was 14. Best
look,
is
it's
best.
It's rapid.
Hero is 0. Wow, look at that. So
we got a quick spawning pool here.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. So a lot of times Zerg will go hatchery first and try to get Usually it's hatchery on 12, but there are some exceptions. But just for this purpose, we'll just say hatch on 12. Oh my God!
He's going 2 gates in his
I don't
main
even.
base.
Okay, wait. I got a lot to say about this, but let me just point out what Zerg's going to do because this is going to be an odd game. So, Zerg a lot of times because Protoss can rush them early, they get Zergling speed, then they take the drones off of gas, and they get about 8 lings, and they basically go and kill the scouting probe, control the map, and then they just expand behind that. Now, Protoss is like back in 1999 would do this build. Like
until Bisu came around, 2-gate was one of the standard builds in this matchup. It was one that you would see a decent amount.
It basically went 2-gate, then gate gas builds where people would like Zealot legs or something, but Zerg's figured that out, and then they went into fast expand. Now, what's weird about this is normally if they're going to make 2 gates, why would you make it in the main, right? I mean, you could make it at the expansion and push. So, and if you look at the size of this map, I mean, I can't tell you how odd this choice is here by Best. If you look at the size of the map, how would you possibly rush hard with Zealots, even if it wasn't cross spots? Let's say that Protoss was at the upper right. It would still be difficult.
Everything about this is a little bit weird. Like, to be perfectly honest, as a former StarCraft 1 pro gamer, what this looks like to me is that Best, it leaked to Best what Hero's strategy was on this map. Because this is like so weird what I'm seeing. Like, I know that's not what happened, but they're like back in the prime of Brood War, if you had a televised match coming up, you didn't play ladder, you didn't do anything except practice with teammates or trusted teams, so that nothing would ever leak. No one had any idea what anyone was going to do. But because if you do, you can just prepare a counter strategy, right? Like, he spent a lot of money getting this quick speed and everything, 0 damage done at all to Best, and like, I mean. Best has to be feeling completely comfortable in this situation.
So, I think I know what this might be. Let's see. If he gets a Robo, no, he's going to go for the Stargate. Okay, there is a weird build you can do where you, like, get a couple of gates and then you just, like, get a Reaver, and with some Dragoons you just walk out and you're like, ah!
Yeah.
And the other guy's like, what? And then he just doesn't have the right composition, but if you don't win the game then. So he's getting a Stargate. Now, again, this is a really abnormal build. Think about it, guys. He got 2 gateways, then made 3 zealots, and it looks like he stopped. And you can see the observers even checking to see what the tech is. It's either going to be the Robo, probably not actually.
It has to be a Citadel.
Citadel, yeah.
Yeah, he has to go into, like, it's a Forge. Never mind.
God.
So, well, that Forge, I mean, +1 is important, but, like, also the one thing that you have to kind of worry about here, if he went Citadel and for some reason Hero got, like, Burrow, I feel like he just loses. Like, he has to go kill him or something, right?
Yeah.
Because his detection is so far off. There's nothing in either of those tech roots that detects. So,
is it possible he's just going to get +1 weapons, Zealot legs, and eventually come out with a bunch of Zealots? Well, because you can do. I know G5 used to do this on some weird maps, but only when you were in close spawns, where he'd like just keep making Corsairs and then just run out like really late on with Zealots. And it kind of forces a Zerg to not make as many drones. But I actually think Hero's responding to this in a really interesting way. It looks like he's getting just a few Hydras and then going into the Spire tech. So it's enough to basically keep the Overlords safe. Now, do we have a Citadel yet?
No, we don't have a Citadel yet. Which is
so
that's
weird.
the crazy part. Okay, just started it now. So that makes sense. Like, the +1 upgrade takes a while, so he gets that going right away. And I mean, this is it's looking more and more like it might be like a 1-base all-in-ish type play, and against just 2 hatcheries, +1 speed Zealots are going to do very, very well.
Well, what's funny about this is you could see just how much the Zerg is playing very carefully here, because he's like probably scratching his head when he got to his base too, like 3 Zealots, okay. Now, the impending dilemma here for Protoss is that you can't really stay on one base for too long. You actually need gas so much in this matchup.
Yeah.
And with Zerg, basically always getting the second base up and running, you can't combat the tech that Zerg's going to have here. So it looks like Zerg is going to go eventually for Mutas. He's probably going to get some Scourge with this, and then he can, if he gets enough, you can basically never take an additional base.
Yeah, this is kind of wild. Like, I think he's going to have to just pop a bunch of Scourge and try to clear Corsairs for a bit, and like, he has to hold on because this attack that's going to come in is going to be really, really strong. +1 speed Zealots at a much quicker time than you're normally used to.
God, this is such a strange build.
Yeah, it's a different one.
Like, guys, if you're new to StarCraft 1, Artos and I were playing since day 1. learning this game, but I can't emphasize what an odd build choice this is here from Best. I mean, this is about as weird, even if you take all the matchups, this is kind of like such an odd build.
You know what it feels like more than anything else? Wow, that's a great snipe right there on that Corsair. That is such an important snipe because, as you said, he's really floundering for gas right now.
Right, yeah.
You can't be losing stuff like that. Now he has to build additional cannons. He's going to have to make up his Corsair count, and he's moving out with those Zealots now. The leg's not quite done.
And here's the problem. So, as you can see, he had to make cannons. He can't even make the Nexus yet. Now, there's Zealot legs, but you know, I would assume that if he's using it over here, he can handle it. We'll have to see how many drones he manages to get. Looks like he's going to try to block the ramp over here.
Yeah, he's got to block this ramp as long as possible. The Zealots trying to force their way up right now. A Muta on top of them. Some of the Mutas actually staying over, making sure the natural doesn't get taken. But as long as he cleans up these Zealots without really losing drones, then Hero should be in a good spot.
He's coming up now, hitting with all these Mutas over here. But he's just not getting enough drones. And keep in mind, you know, those were the Zealots he was making this entire game.
Yeah. Well, he just killed like 7 drones or something, I think. That was quite a few drones that he did end up picking off. And ooh, almost gets another one there. Not quite. But
now what he needs to do is try to get back down there and stop the Nexus from coming up. But, you know, maybe he actually did enough damage. Let's see. Unfortunately, we don't have tabs here, so we don't know how many drones.
Yeah,
it's not a lot, though. It's not a lot.
Yeah, he doesn't have like a huge amount of drones. He does have 3 hatches, so he can remake, but there's no second Nexus. A lot of gas having to be spent on Corsairs. Of course, losing that one Corsair was a huge, huge deal. But from here, it's like Best just, he doesn't have a whole lot, you know?
Well, it's all going to be about the Corsairs here. Now, the other problem that Protoss faces once this happens is that the Mutas could start hitting everywhere, and if you lose the Corsairs, the game's over. He doesn't have enough gas to get an Archon. He might in a little bit later, but the Mutas can actually be microed really, really well against an Archon, and just basically never engage it.
You technically can kill an Archon without even getting hit. With Mutas.
I would never recommend anybody trying that because you misclick once and the Archon splashes and hits everything.
It's too much micro.
You
don't want to. It can be done, but. No, looking at this though, I think he's actually getting stormed because the one thing that Best has to be afraid of right now, because he has enough cannons and Corsairs to keep off Mutas, what he has to be afraid of is a re-switch into a tech switch back into Hydralisks, and if he doesn't have Psystorm to deal with that, he only has a 1 base economy, so like he just doesn't have enough gateway units to deal with Hydras alone. He needs that splash damage.
Okay, the Corsairs are coming up now. Okay, now he's got to be careful. Good job hitting that Scourge. That's really important. Now, keep in mind, you know, with the Muta Micro, he has him bunched up in such a way so that it's harder to get a good angle to hit him. But with Splash, these Corsairs can just annihilate these Mutas if they get a good position. So he's actually playing around that and just try and hit this. We may see Best try to catch these Mutas onto the side of the map, but it looks like already Heroes outmaneuvered him.
Yeah, you're quite right. He is looking for that catch, though. The Corsairs kind of moving and even spreading at this point, looking for wherever the Mutas might be. But the rest of the army coming down for Hero as he takes that 3rd base. Just kind of running around the map, keeping an eye on where things are. What a bizarre game that we're watching.
This is so interesting and unexpected, really. And I have to say, I think Zerg has really matched the rate at which Protoss is playing. He's taken a very safe 3rd base. He didn't overexpand. It's definitely completely playing outside the meta of the game right now. It is something we have seen before, guys, in StarCraft. But it was kind of eventually ruled out, like StarCraft school of thought, like this is probably not the best way to play.
Yeah, but the fact that Best is trying to bring that in and make that work right now against an opponent he's always historically had a hard time against, I kind of appreciate. And I really like what you say about Hero not overextending, because like for instance, if he had taken a normal timed 3rd base, 100% Best kills that. 100% with that Zealot run out. So
it's like if you were playing a really solid player, not like somebody that's ASL level, but you know a solid, strong player. This would throw them off and they would lose, and then they would probably start cursing you out, typing in the chat. You know, you're so bad, you're a cheeser. This is not even the right way to play the game. And then his last building blows up and it says has left the game. But I gotta say, this is very cool to see this coming from Best.
Yeah, it's just so different to mix it up in such a way. That was like such a delayed attack and everything. But now there's quite a set of Hydras out in the map, but he should have Psystorm done about now, right? So
yeah.
That plus legs, plus the +1 attack, his army's looking pretty solid. He even has enough Corsairs to keep the Mutas off his back.
So normally, Protoss just does a fast expand, gets that gas up, and then has to play this defensive game that is far from easy, you know, because there's a lot of different ways Zerg can come in and go for a kill. And you have to kind of be ready for everything, but not be so over-prepared that you don't have your tech, you didn't make enough workers. Now, when will Protoss take a third base? We might see Protoss sit on 2 bases for a while. We have the DT up here in the center north. That's to try to snag the drone that will eventually go over there for the 4th base. Sometimes you want to put it there. Sometimes you put it in the path where the drone will go. So even if there's an overlord there, you can just keep sniping drones.
But it's definitely a very good move, especially with these Corsairs kind of patrolling. That does slow that down a lot. You have to kind of escort an overlord over. But he does have overlord speed, so definitely he can take that 4th when he's ready for it. But just continuing to macro. A few drones popping out, but mostly Hydras. And I really like the reactive play here of Hero once again.
Yeah.
Like, he's really taking it slow and taking it easy. He's skirting this very difficult line to skirt where you're not being too greedy. You have to be able to live through this.
He found him. Now the rest of the Corsairs are going to come in here and meet up. These Mutas need to get out of here now.
He's trying to split them. A lot of Corsairs coming in from all over the place. Looks like he'll lose 1 Muta, but
that's the Rapid Muta back there. The Tastosis Mutas flew away. I'm sorry, Rapid. Thank you, man. Now,
good moving shot, by the way. It was best.
Yeah, he did.
They don't work like Phoenixes. You got to click a hell of a lot to make them do that, guys.
Yeah, it's not easy. Now, Zerg has assembled pretty solid ground force, and it looks like it's going to be Hydra Lurker here. He may be setting up for the 2-base contain. You don't normally see the 2-base Lurker contain because people don't normally play like Protoss right now. But what a lot of Zergs would do is they'd set up Lurkers outside your 2nd base with Scourge and the Hydras there, and they would come out and just try to gun down the Observer and then run back. And they would stay steady on about 3 to 4 bases and just try to make you run out. But you can see Protoss is already taking his 3rd.
Oh, good Psystorm right there, and the Mutas are almost all
What
gone.
is he doing? Kill that, please.
Yeah, okay, he does end up getting it, but he just sacrificed all the Mutas for, I believe, 2 High Templars. It's really important that he killed the Templars because that's going to, you need a lot of Psystorm to deal with this, but Best still has a pretty strong army.
Okay, he's coming down now. Now, this is a pretty scary Zerg army right here. The Storms, though, have been solid so far, setting up the Lurkers. He doesn't have an Overlord over here yet to gun down that Observer.
Oh, another High Templar falls. Great Psystorms right there, shredding the Hydralists. And with the Zots coming in and Dragoons in the back, he is easily going to crush that.
So you got to remember, guys, you can only have 12 units on a control group. So when you engage, you are, like, pretty committed.
Yeah.
You can't be like, oh my God. Looks like he didn't get that many kills. He got 3, but the drones were pulled. That was a good play by Best. Now, what Best needs to do, what he has to do, is hold on to this 3rd base. If Zerg can take out the 3rd base and then go for a contain, the game should end. But I think Best is in good shape here.
Yeah, he definitely is. I would agree with that, Tasis. Having crushed the first wave, they are very soon going to have the same economy. In fact, a little bit more for Best because, of course, Protoss just makes more workers than Zerg. But Hero is on 3 bases. Right? He's gone Mutatech, lost all the Mutas by this point. He's gone into Lurkers. They haven't done anything yet.
Right.
Best is in very good shape right now.
I do wonder if perhaps Hero should have moved out and gone for the Lurker contain earlier. And because usually, even if you don't have anywhere near as big of an army, if you have the Lurkers there and you can just gun down that Observer, you'd be amazed how long that can last. Now, Best is doing a really good job. He's now coming out again. He knows that the Hydras are eventually going to try to push again, so he comes out and starts to draw more attention into the main, taking out a few Overlords.
Dude, watching this game, I'm just thinking about last time. Like, dude, I knew we'd be wrong. I knew we'd be wrong. Somehow Best would take this down. But, I mean, he has definitely played a very interesting game here and thrown Hero off a bit. But, he definitely still can win. This is a lot of Dragoons, which means you have to land your Psystorms. Dragoons are they're good units against Zerg, but
as long as they have other stuff with them, they're okay.
Yeah, like Dragoons alone are kind of sucky. Like if you don't have that Psystorm, whatever Zerg wants to make will kill the Dragoons.
Yeah. So Protoss is moving out. It's possible he won't do a full-on push, but what he's trying to do is keep Zerg on the back He's going to make a cannon, possibly a Nexus down there at the 4th, but he's going to try to secure that. Zerg has to choose between counterattacking and having proper defense. Oh my god. Now remember, guys, when you have an army this big, it's hard to get it to move around properly. He might be able to isolate a control group over here. Hero is splitting up on the map.
Oh man, and the DT going ham on that 4th base as Best chases the rest of the Hydras up. That means that like probably a third of the army of Hero is at the bottom of the map right now, moving around. Might go for a counterattack on this 3rd.
Yeah, counterattack is not a bad idea, but it seems like Hero's a little bit nervous about this. He's actually setting the rest of his army back up here. He's concerned that this might be a bust. And by the way, the high ground advantage here with these Dragoons coming in.
Yeah, the Zod's getting down here and taking all that damage.
God.
That Psystorm. That was madness.
This is going to be tough because these hatcheries act like filters. So it's tough for the Hydras to get a good angle. The Dragoons have superior range, so they can keep hitting the hatches. That's it, GG. Okay.
Dude, that was what a weird
that
game.
was so weird.
Yeah.
You know, normally you think about time travel, like you had to go back in time. Like that's what Taste would do if he had his time machine. He'd go back in time and win all the Brood War tournaments and all the StarCraft 2 tournaments, and then I would be an amazing caster and people wouldn't understand. But it's almost like
is what we would
someone
call that.
took the ghost of Pillars and sent him into the future where it's like this play style is so old, only you can make this work.
Yeah, it was a wild one.
Not an orthodox way to play. That is basically an approach that, you know, at least for most of StarCraft's history, was kind of dismissed as like just too old. The Zergs are too good now. It's a tightrope walk, really.
Yeah.
To navigate a play like that as Protoss, where your second base is so late.
Yeah.
Your gateway explosion is so late.
It's especially wild that the opening went so well for Best because he happened to choose this weird super delayed expansion build against a build meant to hurt a fast expansion. Like if he had done something like put his gates out front or gone for a fast expand, those quick speedlings might have been able to mess him up. But like, he got the better side of build orders there for sure in the beginning.
I don't think we're going to see that again because I feel like one of the advantages of that build is that the more Zergs play against that, the smoother they get at it. Because basically you have Zerg operating on a very low drone count. The problem for Protoss in that situation is that Zerg are perfectly fine on a low drone count.
Yeah,
it's up to Protoss. They have to get the gas.
If Hero thinks about that for 5 minutes, he's going to kind of figure it out. I think you're right. We probably won't see that again.
We're going to find out. We go to a short break now. When we come back, game number 2. Stay tuned.
부산지도 아닙니까 이거?
와, 7군데를 다 돌 거예요. 1번부터 7번까지 취득을 해서 시청자분들한테 나눠줄 수 있어요. 아, 자갈시장 도쿄.
도착했어요. 자갈시장. 오우, 자 나오세요. 자 가면서 나오시고 2시간. 야 이겼다. 이번에 이겼어. 그러면 어서 와. 바깥으로 나가야 될 것 같은데 일단. 클래스 있다면 4번. 아 좋아요. 타이페이죠 타이페이. 광안리.
괌이다.
괌. 야 이건 크다. 부산 분들 위주로 좀 드리면 될 것 같아요 내장. 오.
여러분들 스노우 앱입니다. 스노우 앱. 오이 개똑같아. 뭐야? 야 김준영 존나 똑같아. 야 김보선 해봐.
인지가 여기 한번 아니.
와 진짜 오답이다. 하지마. 시청자를 항상 신으로 생각하고 그래야지. 자 이렇게 혼자 놀기에도 좋습니다. 와! 근데 이게 다 짝꿍자입니다. 역시 스노우웹. 또 메신저도 보낼 수 있고 스노우웹 진짜 개 꿀잼입니다, 여러분들.
네.
자, 많은 사랑 부탁드립니다. 지금도 밑에 내리고 있는데 계속 나와.
Welcome back to the ASL, the Artosis StarCraft League.
Yes.
That's what it stands for.
Tassel.
Go ahead. It's your league. Talk, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I made this. It's all me. It has nothing to do with Africa. It stands for Artosis. Yeah, I mean, we just saw. I mean, we don't want to call a single game won by best and upset, but definitely like a very weird one.
Yeah,
staying
I
on one base for
talk
so
about that
long.
more because that's not supposed to
Builds
work.
like that are very hard to pull off as Protoss and very hard to figure out what the hell you're playing against.
I mean, you basically get 6 cannons before you get your first Nexus. I mean, when you look at, for instance, StarCraft 2, immediately everybody knew to fast expand. I guess there was a brief period where people get like 3 sentries and like try to like get down the ramp or something.
Yeah,
but I mean, fast expanding PvZ throughout the majority of StarCraft is basically everybody concluded that that's the best. If Protoss can get a second base up and running and get that gas, and of course with Protoss you have so many different ways you can tech. There's just too many tools at the Protoss's disposal. So to see Best not only use that strategy and do a good job, but then win with it is super cool. Now, will he do it again? I don't think so, but I never thought he was going to do it in the first place. So
yeah,
it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it was super, super weird. And, like, I really love what you said. I wish that we could just, like, pause this and talk about this for, like, 30 minutes.
Yeah, that was...
This shows a lot of what RTS is as well because, like, for instance, fast expands are good because if they weren't, that would mean fast attacks are too strong. Like, you have to make the game so complex that attacks start working. Right, so early game should be more focused around building economy. But anyways, part of the reason why that works so well is because it confuses Hero into when he's supposed to make drones and when he's supposed to make units.
Yeah.
And Best uses those windows where Hero is screwing it up because Best knows what he's doing. Hero isn't completely sure what's going on. So this is a practice thing for Best that threw Hero off. But like we were saying before, we don't think he's going to use it again. You don't think he's going to use that again, right?
I don't think so. Because the thing is, if you keep doing that strat, eventually Zerg starts to win more and more and more and more and more.
He will figure that out.
Yeah.
He'll figure out, okay, this is when I drone, this is when I make units against this, and then suddenly it becomes very tough for Best, who's sitting on one base for 100 years.
Well, you can see the Hero was prepared for an earlier timing attack, because a lot of people would probably, even though that strat's rare, get just that one Citadel, and then he got +1 late Citadel, rush then. Anyways, guys, it's been a great PvZ series so far. This is game number 2 in tonight's ASL. Where is he going to make the first pylon, Arnie? What if it's in the main?
It could be.
What if it's in the main? I'm like, wow.
If he just plays like that and 3-0s him, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, we got to rewrite the books of Protoss. In the upper left, winning game 1 is Best. In the bottom right, our brown Zerg player, it's Hero. See?
Okay.
Told you it was Hero.
How did you even know? They could have switched races. You don't know.
Yeah. It just turns the camera and then it's rapid play, and I'm like, oh my god, I didn't expect that.
All right. Well.
All right, so let's see where he makes the first pylon.
It tastes so fun. Like Rapid, you are the only one that thinks so, and that's why he loves you. Okay.
Okay, so this
is a more normally placed pylon.
This is like normal.
You know something I also like about the build that Best opened on there? Yeah. Sometimes when you open with kind of a weird, wonky, somewhat aggressive opener, it makes your opponent like fall back. Like, will Hero do any early pulls now that he knows that Best might go one base with gates up his ramp?
Yeah.
Right? Like, probably not, which means Best might be able to be a little bit more aggressive.
It's also possible that Best is setting this series up to do a cannon rush later.
Could be, yeah.
Cannon rushes can stop Hatch first.
Yeah, absolutely they can.
And that can be just a quick, easy win there.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Does he make the gateway? That seems to be more popular. At least it was in 2016. No, he's going to go for
second
the forge.
probe. That's a cannon rush right there.
Yeah, this is a cannon rush build. So on a 4-player map, you can actually sync it up so that as the forge is about halfway done, you will find their location and you can start cannon rushing. Now, that being said,
the timing of this hatchery.
Zerg went for pool first.
Yeah, which means that Best can just back up into his own expansion. You can't expect for this to work. All right, he actually sees the drone, so that's kind of cool. But he knows that this is a pool first just from the timing of this.
Yeah, and so he's actually sending the other. He's going to send the other worker back home. Almost got the block off. And then he will make a Nexus and then 1 to 2 cannons, depending on how tight he can get the wall in. Looks like... yeah, it does look like Hero did not save Larva for 6 lengths.
Yeah.
Which is the way he probably should do it.
It looks like this was just a safety pool. This is like almost... Because, as you said, he might be setting up for a cannon rush later on. That could have been exactly what was in Hero's mind with this opener. Because just getting the pool at this time negates cannon rushes. Like, they just won't work against you.
Yeah. And I believe on this map, you can actually get a pretty insane wall in between the... you can see at the upper left-hand side of the screen here. I think you can actually get that to block. You get a pylon there. I think you can actually block that with like just a gateway.
Man.
Don't take my word on that one, guys. I haven't actually tried it. But you can... If you can do a cannon rush where you can actually not only rush the hatchery, but also block them off from leaving and getting a second base, that becomes the Protoss's choose-your-own-adventure of how do I win the game.
Yeah.
Because Zerg are just not operational on one base. There's a few tricks that Zerg can try to whip out, but I mean, you basically you've got an expiration date for sure. If you don't end that game as Zerg pretty quickly,
Zerg needs more bases than their opponent. Like that is
just
And in fact, it just can't be the same amount of bases. It can't even be 1 base versus 1 base for very long. It's just that's really bad. Not since Tsunami have we had anyone that could go 1 base defiler in one game. So. Anyways, it looks like the game just going to normalize a little bit. Pretty quick layer coming up. The third base being put relatively far away here by Hero.
So when you see Zerg take a third base like this, there's basically 2 ways Zerg can take a third base in this matchup. They'll take the next closest base to them, and that's traditional, or they'll do we would normally call setting up for turtling. So you see the third base he takes in the upper right, that's another natural for another spawning location. So if he secures that, he basically gets the other main there, the 4th base, for free. And this puts Protoss in a bit of a tough spot. Now, the other funny thing about when you do this, obviously that base in the upper right isn't that safe because it's easier for Protoss to rush, but Zerg don't have to turtle either. They can just play 3 base normally.
They can.
And put pressure and then end up punishing the Protoss that way.
Yeah, but the most likely thing that we are probably going to see here would be an additional hatchery at that 3rd base location that's kind of in front, and then probably a couple creep colonies going up eventually, because a lot of this is going to come down to Best splitting up his zealots early on and trying to get a little bit of damage, forcing Lings out, forcing less drones, and then, kind of killing him because he doesn't have his units in the right place. But you can definitely counter that by having a lot of static D around as well.
One thing Protosses can do is if the Zerg, it happens a lot more than you'd think, even at high-level play, but sometimes Zerg will make a lot of... He needs to move those drones. I'm losing my mind.
Yeah.
This is hurting my eyes. He needs to move those... Okay, thank you.
Nothing auto mines here, guys.
Yep.
You got to tell him to go. But
everything's manual.
That is a Spire against a double Stargate.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy.
That's good for best.
Sometimes Protoss will go for ground pressure, and the Zerg will overmake sunken colonies at one of the bases, and then the Protoss just attacks the other one when the game ends. Which is why a lot of Zergs will not play this style. So he has one Stargate that's pretty visible. The other one in the upper left is because he wants to snowball air control here and just start killing off all the Overlords. And as Artosis pointed out, he's getting a Spire.
Yeah.
So I think...
And that's pretty common when you take a base this far away as well. You
Right.
kind of want a Spire before your Hydralisk Den to kind of try to control that air a little bit. And hell, who knows, if they don't have enough Corsairs, you can't go Mutas, which will traverse the map quicker than anything. But with the double Stargate opener, I am liking where Best is at. And that's a very fast Templar Archives as well.
Well, you know what I think, the Templar Archives? I think that's actually a red herring in for the Zerg to see, because I don't think you can get Psystorm and keep making 2 Corsairs and get Templars. But I think if Zerg takes a look at that and sees the Templar Archives, he goes, okay, Sarah DT. He might get 1 Dark Templar. Now, Scourge are... nearsighted. They have Mr. Magoo eyes, so they did not see that. They did not see that second Stargate there.
Yeah.
By the way, Best is playing some of the best Brood War build mind games I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's
for
really
a best
good.
of 5. This guy really did his homework.
The DT is super paying off. Like, he will easily erase this Overlord, run right in with the DT, and this base is like in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, and you could see Hero suddenly realizing, what? That's a lot of So he has these Corsairs stacked like they're Mutas. There's basically not much that you can do about this as Zerg. In fact, this may force Hero out of the game.
Yeah.
Basically, Zerg just pulled Protoss just pulled a fast one on Zerg.
Do you see him flying up here with Mutas like they're going to do anything? Those have to be Scourge in the eggs. There's like, right?
Yeah, he should have it timed out that Scourge pop out, but even then. So you want to spread the Mutas around. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, it's still not enough there.
The Scourge blink.
You're right. He should have had that timed out a little bit better where the Scourge are popping as the Mutas engage. Maybe he could have held it then, but now what we see is Heroes lost everything. This game is over.
This game's done.
There is just no victory here.
Yeah. He could even go over there and get that other hatch.
Yeah, he made a spine or a sunken instead of a spore, so that's kind of an issue.
So basically, you can blindside them. A lot of times when they see that Templar Archives guys, they just assume that you're getting that Templar tech and play normally. So he sees that, and of course, you can think Corsair DT, but you're thinking 1 Stargate Corsair DT, right? So you just have enough Scourge to fend that off, and that's easy peasy. But in this case, he had way more Corsairs and basically pulled the rug out from under Hero.
Yeah, this is really cool play by Best so far tonight. Like, as you said, this is build order mind games. He's really mixing up his strategies extremely well. Like, and Hero even caught some of it, like preventing the early cannon rush. That was a good move. But when Best sees where he expands, goes into a double Stargate and a DT, like, this is... Best is really playing well tonight.
Now, a lot of Zerg players, or actually just anybody, might look at this and be like, gosh, Best is really gimmicky. And you know what? Yeah, I mean, this is, you can't do this like 3 games in a row and win the same way every single time. Oh my God, you're so sick!
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Make a red Archon quick!
Quick! But yeah, if you try this same strat every single game, Zerg will eventually start beating you more than you're beating them. But the way that Best is setting up the builds here, oh my God, that is so much lost gas.
Jeez.
Oh my
super
God.
Dead.
This is so bad.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine what he even has to do from here.
Yeah.
Does finally have a spore, but
Watch, he gets like Disruption Web. It's like, oh,
that would be so funny.
He won't, but
sits over the spore, kills everything, flies out, no problem.
Yeah. Basically, when you get this many Corsairs, it forces Zerg into making too many Scourge, and they're not really getting any of the important tech units. Uh-oh.
By the way, I do have to say, like, everything's going wrong for Hero, but I like what his choice is right now. I think unlimited static D and just make drones is probably his only chance to come back in here.
He has to bring this to late game.
Like, yeah,
he's
has
just
to go,
not going to survive this.
And not just like normal late game, like super duper late. Like, Best has to throw away units on static D where he kind of messes up, like in chokes and stuff. That's like the one way that Hero might be able to pull out of this. So I do love where Hero is trying to take it, even though I can't imagine it working.
Yeah, well, the problem also is that he's getting enough Overlords. This can also spiral out of control, where eventually you can't make anything but Overlords. You can't get any more Scourge out, and you just, kind of get stuck in this loop. And it looks like that might be happening here. I mean, there's only so many places to put hatcheries. Oh!
Oh, turn the Scourge around. You're going to lose them. Careful. Oh, wow. Really good connections here. Better than I thought he was going to get. Okay, the Zealot's trying to come in. There is not enough here to hold against that many Zealots. It is.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a drone drill, by the way, guys. He's trying to clog that up.
He's definitely messing up the AI a lot here.
But the problem is there are actually. Oh, DT's coming in here. Remember me?
More like remember us.
I'm not dying this entire game.
Wow, a lot of kills on those DTs and busting down the hatchery. The drones have definitely made a big difference here, but the Zealots are just way too many.
There's just too many. Yeah, it's not enough. Protoss is taking a third base along with this. God, that drone drilling is really good. So what you do to do that, guys, is you right-click the drone to mine. It passes through the Zealot, then you make it stop.
Yeah, it messes with AI. Zealots don't, when there's other stuff to attack, nothing will attack workers.
Yeah.
So it really messes with the AI. You really have to target a lot. It's hard. StarCraft's hard, guys.
It's a hard game.
These guys are trying their best. They're so lame.
Why is that so funny?
It's like our job is here to talk about these really good players. Like, by the way, guys, this is like they're really trying here, okay? Like for real.
Yeah. It's a hard game. It's like they're really trying. Well, the funny thing is that this is like two of the best players ever, and this is like the top 8 of the biggest tournament in the world, and like, yeah, of course they're trying their best. You idiot! Oh my god.
Oh my god. So I have to hand it, man. I thought the game was over, but
you were right.
Hero is maybe dead, just not physically yet. But this is being handled really well. Now
he's already seen like the red doorknob or whatever it is, right? Like, I mean, he knows he's a ghost right now, but the credits are rolling and he is still in the game.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty impressive that the Hero actually did not just get completely wiped out there. Now, the tech to Corsair Reaver is pretty cool. Usually you might see that a little bit later on, but he has so many Corsairs. There is a weird style that Protoss has used where they go just Corsair and get Reavers right away. But if you screw that up, the game's over. Like if you lose a shuttle, you're like, well, time to start the next game.
Any like quick Reaver type plays are kind of weird if it's not PvP. They're like very risky on what can happen. But look, the fact that he has Archons in here, like Archons destroy Scourge so hard.
Yeah,
so,
it's brutal.
Like, the flying units do 0 against this army that he has, which means it's down to just Sunkens and Lings.
I think, by the way, the Reaver was a good response to the fact that Zerg's trying to turtle.
And the Archons are going to help out a lot as well, because one of the ways to deal with Reavers are try to catch the shuttle, and you do that with Scourge, but you fly it over a couple Archons, and all the Scourge cease to exist.
Okay, shuttle speed's done. He's coming close now. Really, Zerg has to keep this upper right base. Now, he can make Sunken colonies for days, but the Reaver obviously outranges that. This is a siege unit, but you got to get it the right angle.
Yeah. Well, this is the funny thing about Reavers as well. Oh, hey, that's a really good snipe right there.
Yeah.
I don't think he can break it still, but it's good to snipe that. But yeah, Reavers have such bad AI that sometimes you do this and you're trying to attack down into Sunks, and they actually go into range before firing.
It's
you got to be
super
very
frustrating.
careful. Yeah, see
like that? See that? See that?
Try controlling a Reaver. It's hard, guys. Even if you try your best, it's still hard.
Yeah, well, he messed it up.
Look at this. Hey, he's like, yeah, if I kill that, my Sunkens will eventually get these Reavers. All right, Muta's actually popping out, which is kind of funny because Archons are so good against them.
I don't even know if there's drones mining here, if they all just turn into Sunken colonies. Lings are coming in.
What he needs right now is the Archons to die, and he actually targeted that one Archon, maybe? I'm not sure, but the Sunkens are doing really good defense.
So this is not going the way that Best was planning it. I think Best basically assumed this game was over.
Yeah.
It may still be over, but there is one drone mining there because he had to make that many Sunken colonies.
What we just saw is what I was talking about before, where it's like this has to happen several times, where Best throws away armies.
Oh my god, I almost choked.
Oh man.
He got the main.
Yeah, but he needs to throw away armies on the static D, and he just kind of did that, but like, he killed a base during this as well. He has 3 bases against 3 bases.
Yeah.
It's mass Mutalisk tech. They do have +1 carapace, which is super good against Corsairs.
He's going to shuttle everything into the main here. He's just playing around the defense.
Yeah.
Kudos to Hero for actually staying in this game this long, but I think his chances of winning are rapidly disappearing.
Oh my god, he almost got it.
He's the greatest shuttle driver in the world.
Oh man.
He definitely has his
got a few
fingerless
dents on it,
driving
but-
gloves on there.
Yeah. He's playing classical music while he does that,
Yeah.
leaning back in his seat.
All right, so he wants to try to get the Archons. Now, if you micro this perfectly,
Yeah.
you can kind of outrange the Archons.
Yeah.
The problem is that if you just kind of
Watch
pull
this, guys.
back and then dive forward.
Ooh,
Oh!
good moves by Best, because there's counter micro against this as well.
Yeah,
but-
you basically act like you're running away, and then you're like, no! Turn around and get him.
Or you skip the attack animation. Like if you over-click, like you click beyond where the Zerg thinks that you're going to attack and then attack, sometimes you'll catch them because they're trying to, they get out of range where they think you're going to attack and turn around, blah, 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 blah.
Not the extractor! No! I'm gonna let me get to the end to get the gas here.
That drone was from the beginning of the game. It was one of the original 4.
Oh my god.
Look at all these zealots, man. He is just flooding in right now.
Okay.
You know,
I think third time's the charm, and we call this game over. There it is, GG. Oh my god, some of the links are blue!
yeah. Little bug that happens if you leave the game and things hatch afterwards. Certainly hatch after.
All right, guys. Best is pulling a C here.
Yeah, no, I mean, everyone was kind of thinking Hero would win, and after last night, you know, that tells us that probably it's actually Best who will take this down, and then we'll see Gumcheat beat Flash, and like my worldview will be shattered.
Yeah, we're actually in a
You're gonna
parallel
have
universe.
to rebuild me in a lab if Gumcheat beats Flash next week.
Artosis will become a Humpty Dumpty nerd.
Yeah, you'll need all the King's horses.
Yes, maybe even all the King's men.
Possibly. Well, not that big.
To
really.
put Artie Dumpty back together again.
Unfortunately, my yoke will be mixed up. I'll be scrambled forever.
Yeah, man.
You never fix a broken yoke.
Can't unmake that omelet. Well, I gotta say, Best is so prepared for this.
Yeah.
Hero, whatever Hero practiced for this series, he's not getting to do it. And that is really smart. I feel like Best maybe is uncomfortable with traditional style, but he's got all the right tools. Keep in mind, he actually wanted to try to cannon rush there, but Hero was still playing cautious and went full first, and then he followed it up with hidden second Stargate.
Yeah.
And by the way, guys, if you do that double Stargate and you don't do damage early on, you have a lot of Corsairs, which is pretty cool, except you don't have anything else.
But you know what? It played very well against Hero, who, taking that far away third hatch, did decide to go for the Spire, which has been kind of popular this season. I mean, really cool series so far, and just so impressed with Best. And I actually wonder who C would rather play, because his TVZ is really phenomenal, and Hero isn't really super known for that, but obviously his TVP is in top form as well.
Yeah.
Wonder who he's rooting for right now.
It'll be interesting to find out. We're going to go to a short break. When we come back, either Best wins this or Hero is at least going to start that comeback. We'll be back in a little bit. Sickest outro ever. See you soon.
I know the time is right to lay my hands on you. I know the feeling is right, but I don't know if I'm through with you. You know my heart's held up, love come day by day, and I know the time is right to spend some nights with you. Do you want my love? Do you want my love? Solid out, don't you know? I can't wait any longer. Do you want my love?
마음이 가는 대로 즐겁고 신나게 쓰자. 캠퍼스 시리즈.
그래서 오늘 두 분이 경쟁을 하는 거예요.
부산 전체를 돌아다니면서 저희가 7개의 시청자 여러분들 다 뿌리도록 하겠습니다. 4번이요.
공동대.
도쿄 넌 내 거야. 짱! 4번. 오케이. 정답입니다. 아, 예. 운도 좋아, 운도. 화물 뺏겼다. 가자.
저희 입수하러 갈게요. 저희는.
이거 효과가 진짜 예뻐. 이건 동영상으로 찍어야 돼. 짱 귀여워. 아 이거 조명 없어도 예쁘게 나와요. 이거 스노우웹 진짜 대박이야. 아 텍스트도 쓸 수 있네. 아 이렇게 쓸 수 있구나. 단체로 이렇게 고양이가 그려져. 이렇게. 저것도 같이 와! 땡기지 마!
댄시도와의 결선 무대를 시작하겠습니다.
그런 의미를 담은 그 댄스 퍼포먼스,
이 무대를 마음껏 즐기시는 모습을
계속 춤추셨으면 좋겠어요. 꼭. 네.
1등은요 축하합니다. 2SC
축하드립니다.
와우.
다 늦었어.
Welcome back, guys. This is the ASL with Tasteless and Artosis. And Bess is kicking a lot of ass. He definitely did his homework.
Well, I told you he was going to win basis when we came in here
That's
today.
right. That's exactly what you said.
Just for the show, I said that Hero would win because I wanted to,
Because Artosis.
I want people to like me.
Yeah.
But,
Artosis used his curse for good.
Yeah. Well, this
Artosis
is kind of
wished
crazy.
his predicting abilities on a cursed monkey's paw. And here he is now.
Best is really showing a lot of skill. It's kind of exciting as well. Let me give you an argument for Best, for me wanting Best to win this.
Yeah.
Because I don't think C can challenge Flash in a TVT Finals. I don't think Hero can challenge Flash in a ZVT Finals. I think the only player left on this side of the bracket now that Bisu is out that can actually give us a solid Finals to ASL is Best. Because
think you're
Flash
right.
is in such good shape, and Best was known for his PVT. He is a god of PVT, and that could be an amazing finals between the best macro Terran and the best macro Protoss of all time.
By the way, the style that Best has played, you could not have somebody who'd only played StarCraft for a couple of years do this. I mean, he's pulling a very wide range of strats. I mean, he's basically bringing back stuff that in StarCraft time is like BC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before
it's almost
Corsairs.
before the written history and stuff.
Yeah.
Like before replays involved.
If this guy was a philosopher, he'd be like pre-Socratic. He's like Thales or something.
Then he flies over with
Thales says something like, everything's made out of water. And it's like, no, Thales, that's not exactly how it is. But, you know, thank you. It was a long
Humans
time
are
ago.
70% water tasteless, which means Thales was 70% right. Get a grip, buddy. Jeez, you're not a scientist. Shut up.
Get ready for game number 2. Best versus, or game number 3, excuse me. Best versus Hero in tonight's ASL.
Cause I've had enough.
Okay, introducing our players. He's up with a 2-0 lead right now in the upper right. He is Best. And from here on out, this player is not allowed to make a single mistake. Hero, a lot of pressure, very hard in Brood War to come back 3-0.
Yeah, it really is. There's been very few times that has occurred. Reverse all kills are like the toughest thing.
So let's see if Hero goes pull first here.
Yeah, this, by the way, this was the map ban for Hero. Historically, as we just saw down there. Zerg's not faring quite as well on this map against Protoss.
I think this is a map that you can be fine as a Protoss player against a Zerg. But I don't know, man. We'll have to see how he actually plays.
Yeah, very good crowd here tonight, by the way. Not filled to the gills like we had for the biggest 4 names like every single night, but still super full. So many people down there. And we're still relegated, all the casters, to this. What is this? Floor 2.5 or something?
Yeah. We're up here.
Is
on
this
the
even
balcony.
safe, Tasteless?
No, it's certainly not safe.
They have like boxes stacked that hold up this whole floor that we're casting from. Some nerd is going to lean on the pillar and we're all going to tumble
Just
down.
we're all going to die, yeah.
And Tasteless just screams GG as he falls and breaks on the floor.
That's right, man.
It's a final
As
GG.
my last beat of my heart goes. Just like when I was born and they pulled out baby Tasteless and spanked his butt. And he went, GG. It's the first thing I said. Life is a circle, Artosis.
Life is a circle?
That's right.
Is it now?
Yes, Simba.
That's interesting. Circle
That's
of
why
life,
they call
yeah.
me Mufasa Taste.
Mufasa Taste.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see.
I'm trying to think of who you would be in Lion King now. It's a very fun exercise for my brain. It's been so long since I've watched.
Ow, I don't know the characters' names well enough.
I think you'd be like the 4th skeleton in the elephant graveyard, to be honest. Something like that.
Dude, he went pool again right away.
Yeah,
playing it safe.
He's playing safe enough.
And finally, Best is at least so far. It seems like he's doing a normal build.
Well, that's
Forge
the trickiest part of all, right?
Yeah.
Nexus first into a forge, and
now he still does have the option to do something weird after he gets his tech up. That's basically the way it's always been with Protoss since the beginning of StarCraft. Is that Protoss can't do the same thing over and over and over and over again. Like Terran, a lot of times they kind of can in some matchups.
Yes.
In some cases,
You're very right about
kind of
that.
just do the same thing. It's very mechanically difficult, but Protoss, if you know what a Protoss player is going to do, even if it's just standard, I mean, standard you might be tougher. You still got to, out-muscle them. But
yeah,
Protoss have to mix it up.
Yeah, historically at the top level, both in StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2,
yeah,
Protoss has had to mix up builds more than the other races. It's a more stylistic race. It kind of it plays a little bit funny. Out of all the players in both games, the styles are more well defined for Protoss players.
Like
because
if you got 10 replays of a guy and covered the name and you showed him to another pro gamer, he would probably be able to guess after a couple of games who's playing.
Yeah, absolutely the case. Absolutely. But It is a very interesting thing about just kind of the way Protoss has been played and plays out historically, but we do see like vastly different builds all the time, whereas there's a very linear roadmap for Terran and Zerg. They're such mechanical races.
Yeah.
Whereas Protoss is mechanical, but it's actually not as mechanical as the other two. Like the other two just do require more actions per minute, for instance, for most strategies.
Yeah, in most matchups, yeah.
Like you can find people like Bisu who are like, oh no, I'm as quick as the quickest Terran. And then he's like, I'm everywhere! Ha!
Well, Bisu's one of those guys where he's like actually got like over 300 APM.
You
look at Stork, he's like at 100 APM. He's like, well, I'm just clicking exactly perfectly.
Yeah, most Protosses are like a beetle or something, right? And like the beetle is like coming after you, but like basically Bisu is like a whole bunch of spiders in your hair, right? They're just like everywhere, and like it's like so hard to deal with all that at once.
I think he's getting weapons attack. I'm like, he's getting Dragoon Ranger, Joseph.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, what's he gonna do with that?
Yeah. That would be fun. He's like, no, I have this new strat. It's Scout Range Dragoons. Like,
he gets Dragoon Range. When Dragoon gets there, he's like, oh my God, he's Zerg.
Oh my.
So, yeah, it's really common for Protosses to get +1 air attack. Now, Protoss is going to skirt out with the Zealots and try to make Zerg make more lings, but right now, Zerg already has enough lings. Now, the 3-hatch into layer, this is different from what we've seen from other players, like Effort, for instance, who goes 4 hatches with a late layer mass Hydra. It's very orthodox here by Zerg, but there's a lot of different ways you can take the game from here. So he's sending these Hydras forward. He may get Hydra range and try to gun down the gateway in the forge. That's super annoying, especially if you can just deny +1 attack. Basically, Zerg has an upgrade lead forever. Protoss doesn't really get any special timing attacks with the melee units.
Yeah, this is... I do like the way that this game is going right now. Like, you know, when we had the 3-0 by C, he just kind of cheesed Bisu out in the last game. I'm like, oh, that's kind of like a sour note to end on. But with Hero getting into what he wants to do here against something that looks the most standard so far from Best, definitely looking like this could be the best game of the night so far.
Okay, the Zealots are coming out now. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess it's true there is a high ground here you can get behind.
Yeah, and that's going to be very annoying for him to clear out. Like,
yeah.
you can definitely get a building kill there easily. Like, that's going to be the gateway on that side, right? So.
And, well, he can also get behind the minerals and just hit that. I think he's going to make these into lurkers, just judging from the fact there's 4 of them. Or maybe he'll just go shoot down the building. I'm not sure.
Yeah, to break through the little building thingies.
Lurkers.
Yeah, okay, lurkers actually break that super fast.
Hello!
That's a great scout. Look at that scout.
Yeah.
Perfectly timed out as well.
Okay, so he might have to, like, try to sneak cannons over to the side here so we can hit the lurkers, but the lurkers can just run by it.
Yeah, and, you know, he can, like, run in some Zealots or something, but 4 lurkers, that amount of splash, especially with the Lings coming up, that'll screw up anything trying to get on top of the lurkers, so very nice. Oh, good move.
Look at that.
Yeah, very nice.
Uh-oh. Now, he might, well, he's got to be careful. He does not want to lose that one lurker. Okay,
wow, that was super
happened.
slop.
I saw it, you saw it.
That was slop that I would feed my pigs, Tasteless, is what that was. Come on.
Well, what's weird about it is that he never attacked the other cannon, so it's like, well, just get out of range.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, okay, he's going to clear that really quickly now with those lurkers.
You know, there's a little trick that sometimes Zergs do where they then run back out to the front with the lurkers and the Lings and just go in there and kill your expansion. This has happened to me. There's so many tricks where Zerg just outmaneuver the Protoss.
Definitely the case. Look at this. The DT is here, so this can actually clear things up really easily. He doesn't have an Overlord over here, obviously, because of the Corsairs. So as long as he keeps it out of the splash damage, he's getting a little bit sloppy with that.
What is he doing? My eyes.
Yeah, he's like not killing the lurkers, but instead chasing Zerglings that are quicker than him. Definitely has to micro that a little bit.
But see, the thing is, if he gets over here to the main, I think observers are almost out.
Yeah, they should be pretty quickly here. Definitely, I feel like this could have been slightly managed better on both sides, but obviously they're doing a lot right now. The Corsairs out on the map have been killing Overlords, and Hero's been trying to deal with that as well. You can't just like micro your lurkers perfect and then lose every Overlord. That's not good either.
Well, that's what's so crazy about StarCraft is that these guys are so taxed with what they have to do. God, that's really bad. Because here's the thing, he's going to eventually get a bunch of Hydras and try to hit the front again. There's like several different phases of this attack, different tactics you can choose. to use.
Yeah, and he actually just lost several Corsairs. His economy is kind of in shambles right now because of how little mining is going on. He hasn't lost a super duper amount of probes, but like he's lost enough and lost enough mining time that this is so annoying for him to deal with.
Okay, so he's going to bring this. Ooh, that's pretty sneaky, trying to get up just behind these minerals.
Oh,
there he is. Get him.
Oh, too close. So,
whoa. It's like we finish each other's
sentences
at the exact same time. That was crazy.
I can't believe that happened. We've never done that. We didn't practice that.
Yeah.
It just happens sometimes.
We didn't practice it on the phone all morning before he came down here. So,
and then still screwed it up, tasteless. You said time too fast. These players are trying hard, but Tasteless is not.
Dude, he cannot lose more of these Corsairs.
Yeah, this
you
is
just
rough.
don't have much. I mean, that's so much gas you invest in that. So he's going to try to come out here. I think Zerg's going to be fine. I think Hero is setting up to probably win this game if this continues in this kind of direction. Right now, Hero has enough that he can actually go for a Lurker Contain.
Yeah.
He might also go for a drop.
He can easily get that front wall, man. Like, you need a lot to deal with this, and because it's going to be a little choke, like, Psystorm will be good, but to actually run out and kill Lurkers is going to be very hard.
Okay, so he's going to go for a Storm NDT
I
drop.
like it.
Now, the problem is the exit here for the Protoss is so tiny, it's really hard to get out of once the Zerg get the contain up. Oh, God, move that, please.
Yeah, he's lost so many Corsairs this game.
Okay, so this is the Hydra Lurker Contain, and what the Hydras are here for is to run out and gun down the Observer. Now, the fact that he got all of these Corsairs, whoop, all right, something died. I believe that was the DT. He's going to try to come in here for a Storm drop. This is actually a good way to try to deal with Zerg doing this, because Zerg don't have a ton of drones when there's mining.
Yeah, and like anytime that you see these kind of Lurker-based armies, Lurkers suck alone. So you need to have a bunch of units with it, which means that you definitely can't tax their multitasking a little bit. They won't have as many units at home.
Oh my God, this could be timed out perfectly. No, he's not going to drop there. Okay, he's going to put one Templar there, and then he's going to Storm drop somewhere else. Oh my God!
Oh my. 8 kills. 8 kills right there. That is crazy. Drops a DT off there and into the natural.
Best could actually completely turn this game upside down.
Yeah. Look at this damage.
Look at this.
Come on, DT. Oh my God, he's dancing. Okay, this DT at 5 kills, not all on drones there. Some of those were from before. Okay. Doesn't get as many as he wanted with these, but this still, that hurt. He killed like 4 drones in the main at least, maybe a 1 or 2 in the natural, 8 at the other base. That is a lot of drones.
Yeah, and that means that the contain is eventually going to thin out. It's really going to be up now to the Zerg to be able to gun down Observers. In fact, Hero, this could be a wise move. He's going to reposition. He wants to make sure he can do as well as possible. But Best is not done doing this. He's actually going to go for another drop in just a second here.
We'll see what he can get done with that. The Lurker Contain backs off a little bit. He busted down the front piece of the wall. It's not the biggest deal in the whole world, but Best is macroing heavily right now. When he breaks out, that's going to be one of the big deciding moments of the game. If Hero sits there and loses everything, he basically needs to trade out really well or, get back and reinforce.
Okay, will he get the Observer assassination off? He's backing up. Best doing a really good job having that hug the right over there. Now, Dragoons with range can counter the Lurkers. Also, 1 Storm plus 1 Zealot hit kills a Lurker. So sometimes you'll see 1 Zealot run out there and punch the Lurker as the Storm is hitting it.
Yeah, definitely the case. Dragoons can kind of do the same type of thing.
This is so sick.
Wow.
The fact if he gets the Spire, basically he can keep making shuttles throughout this game, unless there's a bunch of Scourge that pop out right now.
This is really important as well. Don't forget he lost his Corsairs. So a switch into Mutas is something that could have happened. But now it can't, because you can't build them without a Spire.
And Best is now out on the map here. It's not clear if the third base is going to be safe. There's several different angles at which you could attack here.
It looks like he's going up maybe to kill off the 4th base first.
Yeah, I think it's the safest play.
Yeah, it is indeed. Like, he can easily cancel this off with like a couple units. And as long as he's moving his army really well, like he doesn't want to get this stuck up here and lose it. So notice how he actually stopped. Look at the mini-map, guys. He stopped most of his army, only let a little bit of it cancel that. Now moving back into a better position. He needs to go down the map a little bit because he's taking his 3rd, and he doesn't want a little counterattack to come in and mess it up.
Okay, Mutas are out now. He did start those Mutas before that Spire was completely taken out.
That was a good Psystorm, though. A lot of damage going down on some of these Mutas. Another Psystorm tries. He's picking off 9 Templars.
No Templars.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Such a big deal to pick those up. And now the Muta's chasing down a lot of these Dragoons. Dragoons alone don't counter Mutas well. You really need something else in there. And suddenly we have... He does have more High Templars, so that's really important. He's going to have to hit some nice storms.
By the way, these Mutas are very low in HP, so a couple of Corsair hits and they can do a ton of damage. But already he's got the sophistication in his army that would allow him to come out here and try to put pressure on the Zerg again.
All right. You know, Hero, is he going to continue to try to attack? Because this third base is coming up, and he doesn't have a fourth. He's just restarting the fourth now.
Yeah.
Which means that Best is getting into a better and better position. And if you get into a better and better position, eventually you'll be in a best position.
Oh, my God. Arfucius. The great StarCraft philosopher.
That's right. I wish that I could go be that at university when I retire, Tasteless.
One day.
The StarCraft philosopher.
Esports is still young. Well, he's going to try to come in here with these Mutas. Got to be careful. These Mutas are badly bruised. It looks like they're pumpkin mutt-mutts. He's actually doing enough damage. Oh, this interception is sick. Only if you cast a storm, though.
Oh, death to all Mutas right there.
Wow.
All of them falling, only getting a single High Templar, so that was a big win for Best. A lot of Hydras moving across the map. How many High Templars are there out there? I think there's quite a few, so...
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll be able to actually break through Best.
Now, Zerg is in an odd spot on a map like this because they have to do this mobile contain. He has to constantly reposition and try to figure this out where Protoss can try to run around. Oh, he's going to go in here for an interception.
Dude, this is great army movement. Look at that mini-map. All the red streaming in on all the sides. Psystorm's starting to go off. The Lurkers are burrowed as well. Best has to be super careful. There are 3 observers up at the top. No detection there to gun them down, though.
More Hydras are coming in. I just see Dragoons here. That's not enough. Still, it's coming in now from the north here. But with this many Hydras, he might be able to take out this third base. And if Protoss does not have a third base, Protoss cannot win this game.
No, certainly it cannot. But this attack is too much. I think that this is just about game taste. Is killing this third while his fourth just finished up looks very good for Hero, especially with how much of an army he has left.
Yeah, well, I think Hero's basically done it. It's time for Best to go back to playing weird, gimmicky stuff, man.
Yeah, he tried his standard macro game. Not working out here.
Overlord
Don't forget
now.
this is a map that Hero really didn't care to play, so
yeah,
got to factor that in, that this is a map that maybe Best should have done better on, but his standard macro play not bringing it.
Oh, man. Shuttle goes down. Well, we'll see when Best tries to, or taps out, because to be honest, Protoss can kind of stay alive back on 2 bases for a while, but I don't see how he can possibly climb back out here and recover. Good micro here by Hero. He's just really focusing on his units and getting as much damage from these Hydras, which are really cheap and cost effective as possible. He's going to get these observers down here now. If the Overlord's over there to spot it, looks like it is.
Yeah, and what we see here is what we were talking about before. Like, Dragoons alone against Zerg really don't do anything. You need to have Reavers or Storm with them, and without that, like, he's microing his heart out, but he's sitting here on 2 bases building Dragoons against units that kill Dragoons, which is all the Zerg units.
Well, Protoss will be mining out that second base very quickly here. The main is already basically mined out, and I think we'll be going to Game 4, Artosis.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we're finally going to have a series here in the round of 8.
Yeah, I thought we were going to have another 3-0.
Yeah. On our second series, finally. Finally. Oh, man.
Well, Zerg doesn't really have to do much but wait at this point in time. Zerg is just going to keep, mass-producing, upgrading, and he wants for Protoss to take a third base. He smashes that, runs away. Protoss takes a third base, smashes that. Eventually, the resources for Protoss are completely dried up, and Protoss is forced out of the game.
Yeah,
a lot of times in RTS, people say, why doesn't he just go kill him if he's ahead? It's like, because he doesn't have to.
He'd rather get more ahead.
Yeah, he'd rather get more ahead.
No, you don't just go kill people in RTS games. It's like, if you do, that's like weird.
Yeah.
It's like theoretically better to starve someone out in this situation. You just always have more. As Tasteless, you said, he tries to expand, go kill it. Tries to come out, defend. Like, he can't do anything to you.
Yeah.
The one way you can mess up is running into a fortified position.
Right, exactly. And then you trade poorly, and then the game's over, and then you're sad. So
you don't want to be sad.
No, certainly not. Now, we have Protoss trying this last attempt to come out here, but there's no way. This is just too much of everything Zerg.
Yeah, it's really great Psystorms as well, but the flood of Heroes units should be able to clean up everything.
Yep, that's it. GG!
Right.
Hero has won his first game. 2 more to go.
And you know what? That's the type of game you need to win if you're going to come back, I think, right? Because he just played the macro game straight up. He says, okay, see that? This should restore like some faith in himself. He's like, okay, normal game, I win. Like that was the most normal out of the 3 games, and Hero was able to out-macro him, out-position him, and kill him off. So, like, Hero should be looking at this as, okay, if I just play it safe, steady, solid style, I can take out Best.
So, Best, he's already got 2 wins here. He just has to figure out one more way to win against Hero, and he makes it. So, you know, Best right now is going over every build he knows, every weird trick in the book. Because I don't think that Best is going to beat Hero in a standard PvZ where Protoss just fast expands, gets the Zealots in the legs and the Corsairs like a normal PvZ. That seems to be where Hero is fine. But if I'm Best, I'm just going to try to pull another fast one.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. Do something a little bit out there that Hero's going to have a hard time reacting against and kill him when he makes those mistakes.
Right. Well, that was a fun game to cast.
Yeah, that was a nice
I think Hero did a really good job. I like that lurker play, too, early on. That was pretty creative.
Yeah.
Definitely a strategy tailored for that map.
Absolutely. Definitely there are some problems with dealing with that. Best did not deal perfectly with it, but there was other things going around the map that we didn't really show, like the Corsair battle of killing off a lot of Overlords and whatnot. But, yeah, I mean, that was quite a nice game with Hero finally taking a victory.
We are going to go to a short break. When we come back, game number 4. Stay tuned here at the ASL.
Just another brain on the campus, just another man in the field, just another tall pile of papers, making it crowded in here. Someone else's work in your thesis, someone else's words in your mouth, someone else's hard work and research, taking you up in the world. Oh, never leave me out, I'm standing by the sidelines. Oh, never leave me out, I'm standing by. I watch it all from afar. Heaven help me. I watch it all fall apart. Heaven help me. Help me. Help me. Help me. Help me. I watch it
부산지도 아닙니까 이거?
와, 7군데를 다 돌 거예요. 1번부터 7번까지 취득을 해서 시청자분들한테 나눠주시죠. 아, 자갈시장 도쿄.
도착했어요. 자갈시장. 오우, 자 나오세요. 자 가면서 나오시고 2시간. 야, 이겼다. 이번에 이겼어. 그러면 어서. 바깥으로 나가야 될 것 같은데 일단. 클래스 있다면 4번. 아, 좋아요. 타이페이죠, 타이페이. 광안리.
괌이다.
괌. 야, 이건 크다. 부산 분들 위주로 좀 드리면 될 것 같아요. 내장. 오.
여러분들 스노우 앱입니다. 스노우 앱. 오이 개똥같아. 뭐야? 야 김준호 존나 똑같아. 야 김무성 해봐. 인지가 여기 한 건 아니야. 와 진짜 오답이다. 하지마. 시청자를 항상 신으로 생각하고 그래야지. 자 이렇게 혼자 놀기에도 좋습니다. 와! 근데 이게 다 혼자입니다. 역시 스노우 앱. 또 메신저도 보낼 수 있고 스노우 앱 진짜 개 꿀잼입니다, 여러분들. 네. 자 많은 사랑 부탁드립니다. 지금도 밑에 내리고 있는데 계속 나와.
The year is 2017, and old computer games are back on TV.
Yes, indeed.
This is the future we have brought.
Well, tasteless. History is cyclical.
That's right.
The future is, in fact, the past. Brood War gonna be the greatest esport of all again, perhaps?
Perhaps.
The views are definitely backing it up. The legends have all returned, just as it should be, I guess.
That's right. We've had a really good series so far. Best is, he's been a sneaky snake.
He has been slithering a little bit.
A little bit. But then in game number 3, he tried to be a Captain Careful.
He did.
Play a standard game.
Yeah. So as long as Hero just looks in his boots before every,
That's
build,
right.
he should be fine.
So let's see. If I'm Best, I'm going to do something crazy cheesy.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see that help. Bust out the first build again and see if Hero will die to it.
It really doesn't work that time. He's like, oh yeah, that's why people don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Well,
he's got to pull out a build that's so old school it only works in Warcraft 2. He's like getting peons to mine lumber. I'm like, I didn't even know you could make peons. Then a Zerg invests in Town Hall. I'm like, invest in peons. This is madness.
And then
he goes back
Ogre
further.
Mage runs out.
He gets a sandworm in the game Dune. I'm like, what? All right, guys, let's go. It's a game number 4. Hero needs to win 2. Best only needs to pull one more win off. I don't know what to say. I messed it up. I'll be better if we go to game 5. Sorry.
You better be.
I'm really not good at these intros and outros today.
I'll take over for you, Tasteless.
You just want to. You know what you could do is you could just cast in 2 voices and you wouldn't even need me.
I've been talking to Mr. Che about getting a soundboard.
Yeah. I'm like over here, in the top, in the purple.
I figure that I can just like operate it with pedals on my feet.
In the bottom, in the green. The other side of the map. Hero.
Yeah. And I'll have like a laugh track as well when I say a joke.
Yeah. When you make some dad joke with a player's name.
And it's just like.
And you normally just look at me with big eyes.
An audience of laughing people.
Yeah.
Instead of Tasteless just being, oh
it's
my
the same
God.
laugh tracks they use on Friends. Nobody wants to watch anymore now. It's like, oh, God. It's like, ooh, Phoebe's so eccentric. So, anyways, we have a pylon. That's right. I can pretty much predict the builds.
How did you know he wasn't just going to make a gateway there?
They basically always make a pylon first.
Yeah.
So let's see if Hero goes pool first.
Yeah, we will see. This is, of course, one of our newer maps here. The newest map, in fact. Damien 2.
Damien.
Do you think
is Damien the son of Satan?
I don't know.
Isn't that the name for like the spawn of Satan?
Damien?
Damien, right?
I don't know. I don't know Satan personally.
You don't?
No, man. That's a league caster, isn't it?
You're not funny, guys. Stop it. So wait, he went gate first, right? What game are we casting? What is this? Is this Age of Empires? What's going on?
Oh my.
What is it?
He's gonna get his musketeers out.
Yes, quickly. He's got to attack to the Bronze Age.
Well, he hasn't used his god power quite yet. This could be a good time for it.
I think he went for a gateway.
Oh, it's a Titan. All right.
Yeah,
I think it is a gateway.
So this is, especially in 2016, a really popular build. This actually was popular like several years back, but then it kind of got phased out. But when Bisu does it, it works every time. Basically, you make, and Bisu has Best and Bisu, same number of letters in the name, both start with B. I think he's got a shot.
Oh my God.
So you send a Zealot out, and even though, because a lot of times people would look at this initially and say, well, can't the Lings just rush you and kill you? Well, what you do is you just keep rushing through their possible counter rush. And you try to go get as many drones. And then when you think the Zealot's getting low on HP, you run behind the minerals into a corner. And while you're doing this, you expand and get a cannon.
Drones lose to Zealots quicker than probes lose to Lings, kind of.
Yeah.
So you really do have to be on top of stopping these Zealots that come across the map, because they will shred everything. Like, trying to surround a Zealot with drones and killing it is, like, a gross thing to have to do.
So this is a good block, by the way. That was really smart. I think the link can still fit through. No, guess not. That's StarCraft 1 for you. I'm like, it looks like it won't fit through, and then it...
But it definitely won't then. It's like
yeah.
Although sometimes I'll have something I think is tight and an Ultralisk walks through it, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. Okay, so he's going to try. Now, he's got to be very careful because not only does he want to get kills, he has to keep this alive. It's 2 Zealot hits plus 2 Probe hits, just like in StarCraft 2.
Or 3 Zealot hits when you don't have a probe.
So he just needs to keep this alive. He's actually going to try to circle around and go in for an assassination.
Yeah, nice little Ling flank, getting that extra damage done.
Oh! Which one is he going for? What's going on here?
Well, the one was stacked under another drone, so that's a really hard click, and if he misses it, the Zealot's just going to die, so
he's basically done a really good job. So the Zerg had to make a lot of Lings just for this one Zealot, and now Protoss is safely expanded.
Yeah, everything is looking good. He's forced a ton of Zerglings out, and you know, he did a little bit of damage with the Zealot. A lot of drones having to run around, a lot of drones not made that could have been made. So everything looking fine here for Best as he opens up. This is pretty standard though, so we'll see if he's able to beat Hero in this situation. And that is a Hydralisk Den. Only 3 hatches so far. Could be one of these crazy aggressive strategies like a 3-hatch Hydra. Definitely possible. 5 would be a more macro-ish play.
Since we're doing old school RTS, did you ever play Command & Conquer?
No, not really. I didn't really like it. Like, my younger brother actually played quite a bit, and I watched, and I was like, I'm not into it.
It was fun, I think, single player. Multiplayer, not so much. But they didn't have Fog of War on it. So it's like, you just like, okay, what's he doing? You're like, all right, he's making that. All right,
really? You just saw everything?
And there was a unit.
Are you calling Apollo a map hacker?
Yes, I'm 100% calling Apollo a former map hacker. So there was a unit called the Spy.
Okay.
And it would like look like their unit, but you could like see the whole map. So it's like basically the stupidest thing in the entire game. It like spawns there, and it's like you have to walk, and of course it's like, you know, CNC, so like it takes 1,000 years to walk across the map.
Wait, I'm confused. You just said you can see everything, though.
No. Once you scout them, there's no Fog of War. Fog of War is like once you. So you see the black stuff on the minimap?
Yeah, no, I know that.
And then you see the parts where there aren't units?
Yeah.
Okay, so the parts where
So as soon as you scouted something, you could see it forever?
Yeah.
Like you could see units moving through it?
Yeah. Yeah,
wow.
there are actually a lot of parts.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, no, it was totally weird. And then they had this unit, the Spy, which is like, it just doesn't even make any sense.
Huh.
Because you just see it walk across your base, you kill it, you're like, all right.
They did a better job with the Changeling, I guess?
Yeah, I know. The Changeling is quite an improvement with that. So
it's kind of funny.
So far, Best is just going to go for Zealot leg pressure. So we've seen him do a lot of Corsair DT stuff, but this time he's going to get +1 attack, get Zealot legs, and he's going to come out here and try to put some pressure on.
Yeah, a lot of Hydras moving across the map right now, by the way. This is a 3-hatchery Hydra build, but when Zealot legs finish, and he does have all these gateways up, he should be able to end up holding this off, but the Hydras oftentimes pick off a bunch that's at the front, like this gateway, for instance.
Okay, Corsair comes in here. Now, initially, it's more important that the Corsair scouts what the Zerg's doing than kills Overlords, because there's so many different things Zerg can do. It looks like the positioning's actually perfect here. He just can't quite...
Yeah, the Forge is actually well placed kind of far back, and this is part of the reason, like, he's warping in more cannons, but he's got to stall with the Zealots a bit, because he has to have +1 finish, and he has to have the cannons warp in to make sure that he can't be broken by this. And then he can break out his own, you know, on his own timetable.
The Corsairs are looping back around now. Is there an Overlord outside? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. There's 2 Overlords. I can see on the mini-map. Sometimes you get 1 DT and you can delay this. Okay, he's coming in, though.
Yeah, he's targeting down those cannons very quickly with the Hydras while the Lings are trying to go and mess up with the Zealots a little bit. The +1 not done for those Zealots yet, so they don't shred them quite as quickly.
Okay, he's getting the gateway now. Now, ideally, he wants to get the Forge, because if you can stop +1, it's just incredibly annoying.
Yeah. I think he's bought enough time, though. I can't imagine him getting it before +1 finishes. This +1 should be getting very close to done.
He might have to run out with the Zealots again.
Yeah.
Try to get him to run away and then
like
reposition.
One more stall. It's definitely worth losing a Zealot or 2 to save this.
He's trying.
This is actually harder than it looks to get these exactly.
Let's just keep the screen at that part of the game the entire time. Let's just never leave this part of the map. It just kind of
Shine had to go to the bathroom.
Okay, now he has gotten in between the Hydras and the Overlords. Zerg has to be careful not to overextend, because eventually, shortly after the gateway explosion, Protoss is going to come barreling out of there.
Yeah, and that's going to be a really scary moment as well because, again, this is he started off on 3 hatches. He is adding some hatches now to really try to keep the macro up. But this is a scary army. +1 is done. Legs are done, and the Zealots are coming out.
Okay, he's on the move now. Let's see if there's the proper amount of defense. By the way, these Corsairs have gotten a lot of Overlords. I don't think it's supply block the Zerg, but he's having to remake those at a pretty impressive rate. He's coming up here, gets rid of that one drone. Can he go for the hatch? Does he go for the drones?
This is crazy. There's another building hatch here. The 3rd base, he comes up with these Hydras. He's got to save this.
Okay, the good drone kill.
Yeah, it really
is. On top of the Hero microing really hard right now. More Zealots are reinforcing. He gets the Sunken Colony.
Yeah, it finishes up. It keeps 2 Zealots busy for a little bit while more Hydras blow up here. He is about to finish his 4th and 5th hatcheries, so he can get a few more units out.
If he can get 1 DT over here as well, I don't believe there's any Overlords in this area.
Oh, that's a good point.
Going for the workers now, and I think he may be playing that just because the Corsairs have now actually managed to get over there and get some kills that way. There it is.
The DT coming in towards that 3rd base. No, it's actually running down the map towards the natural.
This is so sneaky because Zerg probably knows. Oh, well, yeah, it's like actually too sneaky. He's like, we'll try the front door, and then he dies.
It's like, well, you were just in the base ahead. Oh, man, good block by that Hydra. The DT not able to slip by. All right, Best is back up in his base. Psystorm on the way, getting another upgrade here. I mean, Hero's done a pretty good job defending, to be honest. He's up to 5 hatches. He's got his 3 bases. And now they're actually going to meet in the middle of the map. More Zealots charging out. Psystorm going to do fantastically here, by the way.
Yeah. So this style of Zerg, somebody tweeted at me and asked me to say this. And guess what? It must be your lucky day. This style of Zerg and Hydras is called Sauron Zerg. You just mass up Hydras.
It's named after the comic book Dune and the wizard in that.
What are you talking about?
I'm trying to make nerds angry. But no, Sauron Zerg just using mass units as opposed to sitting around with static D and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's very micro-intensive. But when you play against somebody who's really good, even though Storm's really strong, if they can just basically dodge your Storms, they kill all your stuff.
Yeah.
Like, Protoss basically doesn't beat Zerg without Storm. Like, you know, pretty much every game.
You have to have splash damage. It is so important against Zerg. They just mass way too much up. And, like, Protoss units are good and they're beefy, but they need a little something else.
Yeah, they definitely need a little something. So we're up to, I believe it's 6 gateways or 7 gateways. I'm like, or 8 or 9, or, you know.
You know, I just had this thought when I saw all those Zealots sitting together in the front of the choke. I'm like, wow. If suddenly Banelings were introduced to StarCraft 1, it would ruin everything. Like, imagine that, like, Banelings roll and kill all Zealots, and Best is like, okay.
I guess I lost.
Yeah, I guess I'm not going to go to the round of 4. That sucks.
Yeah. Well, right now, Protoss can power pretty heavily. It's really tough for Zerg to try to get that 4th base up. And if you notice, just the locations of the positions here, it's easy for Protoss to pressure that 3rd base. So I would say that, you know, he's in very, Best is in very good shape this time.
Yeah, no, I'm liking where he's at with these High Templars mixed in as well. Hero's going to have to bring a huge force to bear here, but that's where Psystorm is going to start crushing. Now look at this. A lot of units are going to have to run up the ramp to help defend this, and if he gets a Psystorm off on that ramp, or he can just sit there at the bottom of that ramp. That works too, I guess.
Yeah, the position here is really good for Protoss. There's 2 really easy areas that Protoss can storm in.
Look at that.
The center and then the upper left.
Just utilizing these buildings, they kind of make a funnel for the Zerg units to walk out, and that's where the storms hit. A couple very good storms.
Oh, he got on the drones too.
Yeah.
Now that was a really good call. Oh my God.
The thing is,
you know what? He's actually got enough.
Does he have enough to break through here? This is his last Psystorm.
Oh, you know what?
I was kind of questioning that that storm on the drones. I felt like he needed that for the units because basically everything else was used up. And as we've been saying, Dragoons alone are not any good. Like, they don't really do anything. You need with the splash, they're fantastic. But using that extra storm on the drones, like, yeah, it hurts the economy. But
I think he could actually possibly win with the next wave or so.
He might be able to.
The Zerg was already pretty low on drones. See, he was actually planning on doing drop, and that would have been nice had he managed to do it before Protoss moved out. Protoss basically has map control right now. But you know what? Taking the 3rd, you can see Best is getting ready to try to defend a possible attack. But this
Yeah,
drop is going to be pretty sick.
He's doing like some zoning movements right now where his army is just kind of ready to respond to whatever Zerg wants to do and pull up. We do have Hero actually going up to scout for that third base, just kind of making 100% sure that it is there. Has a unit up there, and he has loaded up that drop you were talking about as well.
You can morph lurker eggs on their ramp and block out the main.
Yeah,
you
that's true.
could storm it. Super annoying when that
Without
happens.
Storm, it's really hard to break through them, and it screws
Yeah.
up the AI of everything, too.
The egg is the best unit in the game.
Egg is pretty strong.
Except for the cannon. The cannon's pretty good. It doesn't even cost supply.
I know, it's unfair. Okay, this big drop coming in. He does move his probe super quickly right here, and he has a High Templar up as well. I'm not sure that it has a Slash Storm quite yet.
Yeah, I don't believe it does.
Another High Templar coming in to die, it looks like, unfortunately. He is going to lose that Nexus. Wow, this is a
Look at that
very good
Templar
drop so
archives,
far.
man.
And look at this, he was actually hitting the third base at the same time,
Yeah.
so it did get deflected, but that kind of bought him time with this army as well, which he might actually pick up and run away with.
Okay, I don't know if he can actually pick up.
Yeah,
I think
maybe
he
not,
actually
but
has to
targeting-
stand his ground.
Just targeting Dragoons here is really good. Hydra's really, really wreck Dragoons very quickly compared to Zealots, so...
Okay,
Pretty good
looks
job
like he
there.
should be able to get some of these probes.
Yeah, and he did save a few of the Hydras at least.
So generally in a situation like this, the first drop should be the most effective because now that Protoss is aware that this is one of the tools that the Zerg is going to be using, usually they're in better shape. So we are waiting to see if Zerg can get a fourth base because as great as that was, an attack back there, and I don't think he's going to remake the Nexus for a little bit. I think he might actually want to stay on units and attack. And just try to get something to fourth.
I totally agree with that. Like, stay on units as Protoss here, and I think that Hero actually just really focuses on macroing because having killed that Nexus, he is up 3 bases to 2 technically here. So, like, what he needs to do is hold on. It makes a lot of sense because he sacrificed a lot of Hydras to kill economy there. And he did lose some up at the third base as well, trying to kill off some probes. So, like, this is the time where Best could kill him. So he just needs to really macro at the moment.
Okay, he's actually going to go for the jugular here. Not trying to hit the third. He's going to get right where the rally point is. This is going to be very tough because if Zerg can't hold this... Oh, my God! Storm of the year.
That was a Category 5 right there.
That's right.
Oh, my God, that Storm. Just madness. And
GG.
Hero's dead. Wow.
Wow.
Sick.
And as I said, GG, a button popped off my shirt.
Oh, my God.
Look at that.
I love it. That's how exciting you were.
It's not because of how fat I am. It's because the GGs were so powerful.
Yeah.
And also that I want to show the stream my belly button, guys. Nicely done there by Best. Really, really impressive stuff.
Great victory by him tonight. And to be perfectly honest, after Bisu falling in the round of 8, this gives us a potential sick finals of Best Flash.
That's right.
That would be an insane, insane finals, guys. You have no idea just how strong his PVT is. He is the one guy that really can keep up with Flash as far as unit production goes.
I gotta say, I'm very impressed with Best. And in that last game, he did a very standard style. I thought he was going to mix it up for sure, but no, he did it.
Really good, solid play overall. But I do like he didn't go as heavy on Corsairs this game, and it was a 3H Hydra build, so he had enough to hold on against everything. Just kind of helped him carry through.
축하합니다. 도재욱 선수 과연
Says
누가
congratulations.
도재욱 선수한테 저그전이 약하다고 말할 수 있을까요? 오늘 경기력 정말 대박이었습니다. 소감이
You
어떠세요?
proved that you aren't weak
일단은
against
첫
Zerg.
번째, 두
How
번째
do you
경기
feel?
제가 생각했던 대로 너무 잘 흘러가가지고 기세를 탔던 것
First and
같아요.
second match went exactly as I expected.
첫 번째
I was able to keep that momentum.
투게이트였죠, 본진 투게이트. 뭔가 좀 색다른 거 보여준 것 같습니다. 어떻게
So that two gate was really odd in game one.
일단은
Tell us about
서킷
that.
브레이커라는 맵에서 제가 선 게이트를 할 거라 생각을 했어요. 그래서 그걸 생각해서 또 약간 이제
So I knew that he was thinking I was going to go for some kind of gate first build.
그리고 두 번째에서는 투타 게이트를
So I wanted to mix it up.
커서웨의
And I went for a bit much more aggressive build. It just went 2 gates.
네, 그게 빌드가 공업을 누르면 타이밍이 안 나와서 오커세어를 최적화 타이밍을 하려면 공업을 못 누르는 빌드라서 어쩔 수 없이 못했어요.
야, 그러면서 이 코디오의 그 대화력이었었는데 원래 이 도재욱 선수하고 코디오가
So if you wanted to produce Corsairs,
친하지 않은 그런
a lot of
보이지
them.
않습니까? 오늘 두 번째 경기에서의 그 코디오는 어땠습니까?
You don't normally go for the attack.
두 번째에서는 저도
So I actually
반신반의했거든요.
skipped the
맨 처음
attack rate just to get
오커세어가
the extra Corsairs out.
잡을 때 이제 됐다 그 생각 들었어요. 딱 그때 그 생각 됐다. 됐다 생각 들었어요.
예, 근데 3세트에서는
When my 5 Corsairs
완승이 아니라
killed the
됐다가 아니라
Overlord.
코세오가 한 개씩 자꾸 막 사라지는 모습이 보였었습니다.
That's the moment that I knew I could take that set.
그때 생각했어요. 아 돌아왔구나. 네, 돌아왔구나 했는데
도세오가 왔구나.
다시 근데 마인드 컨트롤 좀 했어요. 그때 아 그래도 당황하지 말고 아직 앞서는
Also, at that moment,
당황하지 말자.
I knew that my micro was back, and I feel like I'm in great shape right now.
끝내는데 폭탄 드랍 올 때의 느낌은 어땠습니까?
폭탄 드랍 올 때.
So what went through your mind when the
농담
drop came
아니고
in your man?
진짜 덜컹했어요. 아니 나는 그렇게 가난하게 만든.
I was actually really surprised by the drop in that last game. I just really did not expect a mass Hydra drop.
것 같아요. 근데 3용인을 잘 지켜가지고 되는 것 같아요.
If my third base got killed during that attack, I probably would have lost that set, but I had pretty good defense there, so I managed to win.
기다리고 있습니다. 어떻게 준비하실 예정이에요?
맨 처음 8강 대진표
So now you're up
나왔을 때
against C. How will you
도저히
fare?
생각한 사람 1%도 안 될 거예요. 근데 그 가능성을 뚫고 저랑 연보 선수 둘 다 올라왔으니까
A lot of fans wouldn't have expected me to be facing off against C.
네, 끝으로 이제 팬분들께
But
응원해 주신 분들이
since I've
굉장히
advanced, I'm going to do my best to train hard and show great
또 우리
games.
도재욱 선수 감동적인 인터뷰 저번에도 들어봤잖아요.
네.
오늘도 한 말씀 해주시죠.
오늘 솔직히 말해서
Any final comments to your fans?
나서 뭐 개인 방송 있었는데 뭐 조문 왔다 육개장 먹으러 왔다 이랬는데
A lot of people thought I was going to lose to Hero tonight.
진짜 멋있는.
I'm obviously very happy that I was able to win for my fans and win in a good fashion.
네,
He's got big man
감사합니다.
hands, by the way.
축하합니다,
Does
도재욱
have big
선수.
man hands.
지금까지 도재욱 선수 만나봤습니다. 그럼 오늘 경기
Someone give that guy a
결과를 다시
basketball
한번
so he can
화면으로
pop
확인해
it.
보겠습니다.
Jeez. I bet if he shook my hand, I'd be a little spaghetti nerd.
Yeah, you'd be a little floppo nerd for sure.
All right, Best moves on to the round of 4. You will be playing against C. Not next week, but the week after that.
Can't wait to see those games. I do think that Best basically just prepared better for this.
Yeah.
It wasn't, you know, he had the right strategies. He knew how to play around Hero's really solid style. And then for good measure, he wins game 4 in a standard PvZ, saying, hey, I can do this too.
And look, here's the thing. We don't know what the rest of the path might be for him. Like, we know he's going up against C, but let's say he beats C, which I would put him as a favorite as against C. That final, like, PvZ is his weak matchup, and he showed a lot of stuff tonight. So if Jaedong gets stopped on the other side, maybe Best does win that championship before 30.
Yeah.
That is a real possibility at this
The
point.
dream.
Yeah.
Might happen. I know a lot of people are big fans of Hero, but not his day.
No. Very strong Zerg player indeed, but that leaves only Jaedong representing the Zerg race.
The Swarm. Kerrigan. So,
Kerrigan ain't nothing next to Jaedong. Man.
No.
Oh my God.
Kerrigan is queen in the single player.
Yeah.
This is the multiplayer.
Yeah, he's the king of the multiplayer Zerg.
That's right. So we'll be having Jaedong. I guess look at the graphic board. I'm actually not
Jaedong
sure.
against Stork.
It's Jaedong against Stork
and
next
it's going to be next Tuesday.
All right.
It should be Sunday. Should be Flash against Gyumchi.
That's right.
And then it should be Jaedong against Stork in the Tuesday match. And that's like 2 amazing matches coming up. Can't wait to see how well Gyumchi plays because he really surprised in the last round. Really brought up his play. That's, of course, I Am Mong is the idea he's using now. But that will be on Sunday, guys. And then, of course, as we were saying, Stork versus Jaedong. This is a sick throwback right there. This is a match that everyone on the internet should tune into.
That's right.
And no matter who wins here, like, let's be honest, guys. I Am Mong is the weakest player in the round of 8, and Flash is the strongest player in the round of 8. Flash should win that. But then it's like Stork versus Jaedong, and then one of them against Flash! Oh my God!
Wow.
January is the best. Guys, I'm so sorry. All of your serotonin is going to be used up in January. You're going to be sad for the rest of the year. Jeez.
Oh my God.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Can't wait to
Whoa.
crown another champion here. So glad that we're
My
doing ASL,
God.
our sister tournament to the GSL. And I don't really have much more to say.
It's like the younger sister to GSL technically, but it was like reincarnated. It has like an older soul or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like a wiser younger sister. Guys, by the way, GSL Code S.
Yeah.
First tournament of the year starts tomorrow. tomorrow.
We'll be there. You
And
better be as well.
We're actually going to have a little pre-show as well on the Africa stream.
Oh, that's right.
I think it's called The Bunker.
Before. Yes.
And we'll be answering all sorts of viewer questions and stuff. So make sure you tune in. I believe that will start at 6 p.m. KST, which is an hour before ASL starts. So that's how you do it. It's 23 hours from when this show started. I know you already have your alarm set for that. So, yeah.
There you go.
Watch it. It's going to be awesome. StarCraft 2, StarCraft 1.
All the StarCrafts.
Hell, I'll cast StarCraft 3 if you want.
Yeah, man. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Tonight was a lot of fun. We will see you tomorrow for the GSL Code S. We love you. Good night.
It's a struggle within for me to escape reality. Now when the time has come, I'm begging you to stay strong.